Hello, hello, hello. We are making a video, the baby dog and I. He is all the way out there in the sun, sunbathing, and I am here on my favorite grass spot. This is so nice. It's nice here with these little yellow flowers and daisies and dandelion. It's very nice. It's nice to get grounded and have the friend with me in the garden. I can't wait to go back to the desert. It was so nice in the desert. The baby dog swam. Can you believe it? He didn't really like to go in water, but we first got there to the warm spring pool, and he was in the water already before me because he was drinking some water, and then he thought, oh, this is nice, it's warm. So he then went in there belly deep, and then he came back out, and then he went from the other side when I was in the pool. He went in there to explore, and then he accidentally stepped off the side and he plunged into the pool, and then he swam across the pool to the other side. That was so nice. And that washed the chest harness and the leash. That was very nice. It was such an amazing experience. So healing and so comforting to be in that hot spring pool. And we had it all for ourselves. That is my favorite hot spring pool, and unfortunately I can't tell people where it is. I can't even take a photo of it because the people probably would figure it out or something. I can't. I have people that want to murder me. No, it's not good. And I wished I was just paranoid, but it's unfortunately it's not just some crazy feeling of being persecuted. It is reality, unfortunately. That's very sad. But I guess that's the case with everyone who has something to say to the world that turns people's identifications and belief systems upside down. That's what it is. Yeah. And anyone who does investigations and reforms, all of those movers and shakers have their death threats and have people that are trying to find out where they are. That's very sad, all of that. Anyone who goes after someone just because that person has a different worldview, like, perfect example that his name was Wagner, a fundamentalist Christian that was, I don't know, was 20 years ago or something. He was on the news. He was stalking an abortion doctor, he was stalking a gynecologist. And the gynecologist gets out of his car on the parking lot, getting all of his paperwork ready and whatever he had had in his hand, locking the car doors, walking to the hospital where he works in the morning, I guess it is. The street is very, very loud today. This is not good. But anyway, he walked. That's a real horrible thing. He walked across the parking lot past trees, and all of a sudden there's this fundamentalist, insane person, Wagner, with a gun in his hand, trying to shoot that gynecologist who has been performing abortions. And the look on that fundamentalist's face, like distorted facial expression, someone who's completely insane. And it escalates to that. It gradually escalates to that mental state. And we need to figure out a way to help people so they don't escalate into such a completely disconnected, schizoid, fragmented mental state. Where they're just in a state of hate and rage, and they feel completely righteous. They feel like that's the truth or something. When they're as far away from truth and love and harmony as it gets. That is the state of demon and devil, okay? The state of disconnect. That is what that is. There's no devil. The devil is a mental state that comes about when people don't introspect, when people go unchecked with their mental illness. Matter of fact is when family or society enables it or even sanctions it or even glorifies it. So if a whole religion glorifies that kind of behavior, then don't be surprised when some people escalate into that kind of demonic mental state. Okay, so it is what it is. That's all it is. Okay, it's a mental state of disconnect. Okay. It's mental illness. It is insanity. It is a form of schizophrenia. Fragmentation, split consciousness. That's what it is. Okay? That's what the devil is. That's what demons are. And there are some devils and demons who are the mental state. There are some beings and Bardo beyond the physical that are still clinging to this, to whatever, to do their identification that they have driven themselves into while they were in a different form. This probably only happens in a humanoid form. a humanoid in the developmental stage of the human Homo sapiens, on that level of large brain, but not not large enough to see through themselves, right? So that's the bottleneck that Enrico Fermi was talking about. When a species is in a state of a bottleneck stage of evolution, very difficult passage of maturity level, where the maturity level has not reached enough clarity, but the brain has already reached a certain level of technological IQ. So that is very dangerous. Very dangerous bottleneck phase. And these kind of things can happen in a species. Not that everyone is like that in the species, but most are in a state of immaturity, certain level of immaturity, and a number of them become insane. So that doesn't happen anymore when a civilization has reached type 1 level. Then they are out the other end of that tunnel. Then they have reached enough clarity and understanding that we have to think beyond religion, beyond identification, beyond group thinking, beyond nationality, beyond football stadiums, literally and physically. You are not your football team. You are not your religion, okay? But as long as the majority of people think they are their religion, or they think they are their organization, I am whatever people want to say, I am Greenpeace, that's me, I am Greenpeace, I'm the embodiment or whatever. No. And besides that, they don't even pay attention who becomes a board member and hijacks the entire organization and makes it into something that has nothing to do with environmentalism anymore. Okay, so, but people are still identified with it. Very dangerous. Oh my goodness. Any greedy person can exploit that to the fullest. That's why Hollywood, that's why they made movies where they glorified the identification with a nation. They glorified war movies. War happens because of identification with a nation. That's why war happens. If you don't identify anymore with any nation or flag or religion, then who are you? Just that being that you are, right? That being that you are in a fetal position under a tree. That's all you are then. And You know how beautiful that is? It doesn't matter how you look like. It doesn't matter what your skin color is, or your eye color, or the structure of your hair. You could have an afro, like that book Struwwelpeter in German. In Germany, German fairy tale, cartoon type of book. With long fingernails like Howard Hughes or whatever. You could be a striped person or a plaid. Plaid skin color. In a fetal position under a tree. Doesn't matter, okay? So doesn't matter how big your lips are. You know? It doesn't matter. The bird doesn't care that I have birdie lips. The bird doesn't care. The bird is not expecting me to have plastic surgery done to make my lips look like Beyonce. No. This person wants to look like that person wants to look like that person. Whatever is being glorified by media and movies, that's how people want to look like. That's what they think is socially accepted or wanted or desired. Okay, that's how they want to look like. And they don't love themselves, and that's very tragic. But the bird and the tree and the sky, they love you no matter how you look, if with plaid or with striped skin of any color, any form of lips and eyes and nose. You could be an ET with green skin and a nose that goes way up into the sky, like I painted. Nature, the blue god, loves you no matter what, no matter how you look like, no matter what you do even. It's so important that you go into nature and you love yourself. Just love yourself. Love your skin. Paint a heart on your skin with the lipstick. And write the word love all over your body. It's very important to do. I have done that a few times. It's good to do. I have a rug, a bathroom rug, that says, "You look great." I bought 2 of those. And I put one on the dryer because the dryer is old and all rusty. So I put that on top of the dryer, and now the dryer looks good because of that bathroom rug that just so happens to fit exactly on top of that dryer. And so then we put a 5-gallon blue water container on top of that rug on the dryer, and the water is now constantly being infused with the words, "You look great." Teal Swan talked about that, and the scientist, Japanese scientist Masaru Emoto talked about that. That's very important information. A lot of people don't believe it, but it's true. You put a self-affirmation letter, love letter to yourself. You put it under your water container. I don't want him in the video because then I have to delete the video. Because he doesn't want to be in the video. He gets real mad. So, yeah, if you put the water container on top of a love letter to yourself, that will have a dramatic effect on your health if you drink that water. It's the truth. It is the truth. My God. Yeah, I participated in an energy healing in LA by a group called Messengers of Light. The leader, the group leader's name is Fatima, a woman from Brazil. She and her boyfriend were doing this with a few other people, energy healers, and after the session, we were about 20 or so people that participated there. After that session, the guy from Brazil, he said what he noticed in most people is they don't love themselves. And that's very sad, he said. You don't love yourself. Most people don't love themselves enough, and many people don't love themselves at all. And that has horrible health consequences. It is absolutely vitally important that you love yourself. Vitally important. The Blue God agrees. 2233. It's the truth. It's the absolute truth. You have to love yourself. You must love yourself. So lie down on a lawn, look into a tree, look into the blue God, the blue sky, and tell the blue God everything you want to say. You can talk to people that are no longer in the physical. I do it all the time. I say, I'm sorry. I'm so infinitely sorry that you suffered, and I'm infinitely sorry that we misunderstood each other, my mother and I in particular. Yeah, it's what it is. It is what it is. It's getting a little bit chilly here, so I better turn the video off. So, anyway, take care. Bye bye.